Today I'm going to be going over the problem with Grand Theft Auto Online's broken and neglected sister, Red Dead Online. The situation is so dire right now that even the official Red Dead Online subreddit has changed their active players to disappointed players. So it all started just 1 month after the release of Red Dead Redemption 2, the epic single player that game was. Red Dead Online started with a beta. Despite dropping its beta title in May 2019, the game today is in a far worse state than it was during its beta phase. First up, let's go over pricing. And despite being set in the same time era as Red Dead Redemption 2, the prices in Red Dead Online were drastically increased from the single player. For example, a Mauser pistol would cost $250 in the single player, but in online they would cost over $1,000 each at the start. That's 4 times the price going from single player to online. And that's just for one of them. To dual wield Mauser pistols, you would have had to have dropped $2,000 on these. And for a gun that only cost $35 in $18.99, they've basically increased the cost by 300%. The pricing was so bad at the start of Red Dead Online that news outlets were writing articles on how insane the economy was in the game. This actually did prompt some positive changes made in Update 1 in December of 2018. If we look back on Update 1, it did include some positive changes, but it was actually a nerf in disguise. Some of the weapons were reduced in price, such as the Mauser pistol. It went from $1,000 to $600, so there was a 40% decrease there, but the prices are still triple what it was in the single player. Now, although some of the prices were reduced in Update 1, this update was also coupled with a considerable nerf to money-making methods in Red Dead Online. So although those prices for items were reduced, it's basically completely redundant, as that same update also made it even slower to make money. Specifically, animal materials, feathers, fish, they were all greatly reduced in value, which drastically reduced hunting as a viable money-making method. Now, this change was actually hidden way down in the patch notes, and I quote, "balance the values of select pelts, skins and fish." And by balance they actually mean nerf here. So animal materials, feathers, fish, they were all greatly reduced in value, which drastically reduced hunting as a viable money-making method. In fact, if we look at the numbers, players were almost worse off after the Update 1 fix. Just to demonstrate what I mean by this, before Update 1 you'd need $1,000 to buy a Mauser pistol. Fishing was one of the best methods to make money at the time, and you'd make around $200 per hour catching and selling fish. So it would basically take you around 5 hours of gameplay to buy that pistol. After Update 1 you'd need $600 to buy the Mauser after the price cut. However, as fish prices were literally cut in half, you'd only make $100 per hour fishing, which is basically half of what you did before. Therefore, it would take you 6 hours of making money to afford the Mauser pistol, and at the time, fishing was the fastest way to make money. And if you're wondering if the pricing in Red Dead Online has gotten better over time, well, the Frontier Pursuits update saw a rusty spade that costs $350. Another update is the collector role, where collectibles change their spawns every single day. A dedicated fan, Gene Rope, created an online map that shows the exact location of every single collectible in Red Dead Online, and it's clear Rockstar hate this map. And the crazy thing is, this is not really much different than the strategy guides that show you all of the collectible locations in the single player of Red Dead Redemption 2. In fact, Rockstar themselves even sell an official strategy guide that includes all of these collectible locations. The only difference is here, this is online, and allowing players to make money too quickly will result in them buying less microtransactions. Just 3 months after releasing the collector role, Rockstar decided we were making too much money with collection sets, so they nerfed the collector role. They added 6 new spawn cycles, and made each collectible set have their own unique cycle, trying to make them less predictable. And again, there was no transparency with the player base here. This was even listed in the patch notes as an improvement to the role. If rumours are to be believed from insiders, a further nerf will be coming to the collector role with the next DLC, with the goal to make collectibles harder to find and money slower to earn. As an active player of both Grand Theft Auto Online and Red Dead Online, it's not really hard to see the disparity between the support of these two online services. As a Christmas gift, for example, Grand Theft Auto Online players got a free tank as a login bonus. The tank has a value of $2.2 million, so it's effectively a gift of over $2 million. What did Red Dead Online players get? They got a shotgun skin and provisions. It's almost laughable. In January 2020, Rockstar gave out gifts for players for hitting record numbers of concurrent players in both games. Let's take a look at what they gave us. GTA Online got $2 million cash for just logging in. And Red Dead Online players got a free Schofield revolver, a varmint rifle, and an ammo bundle. So Red Dead Online players basically get two of the most common weapons that basically everybody in the game owns that has played any longer than a few days, and some ammo that has a value of a few dollars. The weekly events in GTA Online and Red Dead Online also speaks volumes. Each Thursday, GTA Online receives a new update. They get huge discounts, huge money making opportunities, even for veteran players that have played since the start of the release of the game for 5 or 6 years. Those double cash and triple cash opportunities are enough to keep coming back to the game. Each Tuesday in Red Dead Online is an embarrassment in comparison. I almost feel a bit dishonest calling them updates. Rockstar seems to aim their weekly update to Red Dead Online to completely brand new players. The discounts would be for starting the roles, the XP boosts would be 99% of the time only for role XP, so if you've already maxed your role, you won't be getting any benefit from playing since you max your roles very quickly. All of these incentives only benefit brand new players, and it's a constant kick in the teeth for any of the loyal active player base out there. One week we even had a discount on tins of beans. Long-term GTA Online players might remember at the start of that game, Rockstar would actually add the new content to both online and single player, so if there was new clothing, weapons and vehicles, those could be enjoyed in both of the games if you want to play online or offline. However, Ill-Gotten Gains Part 2 was the last single player update that GTA Online received, and that was back in 2015. So for the past 5 years they've only added the content to online, with no real explanation. Now the reason this is upsetting is because Rockstar has the ability to give us amazing single player and story content. Even the Moonshiners DLC update included 5 missions that all had epic storylines, great cutscenes, and really goes to show Rockstar still has a huge strength in making story mode content. But because of how lucrative online is, it's unlikely we'll ever see any more updates to the single player. We all know about this single player DLC that was announced for GTA 5 back in 2014, continuing the story of the main 3 protagonists, and that was quietly swept under the rug. According to leaks, the single player DLC was cancelled, even though it was 70% complete, and the contents of that was repurposed into online updates so it would have a much higher profit. Why sell someone a whole DLC for $10 when you can sell them each individual component and vehicle for over $10 a piece? If you look at the financial reports showing the recurring consumer spending, they're able to get people to keep spending money rather than buying one single DLC. Now if Grand Theft Auto 5, the single most successful and profitable entertainment product of all time, won't get a single player DLC, there's literally no hope for Red Dead Redemption 2. And this is heartbreaking for fans. The first Red Dead Redemption game had probably one of the best DLCs I've ever purchased. Undead Nightmare introduced a whole new zombie horror single player mode. There was multiplayer modes, mythical horses, mythical creatures to hunt, there was new cosmetics and mounts, and all of this was sold for just $10. If we compare what $10 gets you in Red Dead Online, that'll get you about 25 gold bars. And that's not even enough to buy the Black Arabian in online that's locked behind 42 gold bars, so you'd have to drop $20 just to buy one horse here. I know a lot of GTA Online players complain about the price of vehicles lately, but hey, at least you can actually sell those back if you decide you don't want them in the future. Whereas in Red Dead Online, all of your own mounts have a whopping value of $0 resale value. Red Dead Online introduced something Rockstar has never done before, and that was introducing a secondary premium currency, similar to what the free-to-play mobile games use, except Red Dead Online requires a full game purchase. Each new online update requires these gold bars to actually start and play the content, so the Outlaw Passes require 40 gold to start, new roles cost between 15 to 25 gold bars just to start that role. So if you want to start all 4 of the roles that have been added to the game so far, you're going to have to fork out 70 gold bars. Now this wouldn't be so much of a problem if it was normal cash that can be earned in the game, but gold bars are literally given out in such painfully small quantities through online gameplay, it's going to take you literally months of grinding to make that an extremely high paywall. As a new player, you have no choice but to buy those gold bars to use the new content at launch, otherwise you'd have to spend weeks and months grinding beforehand. And it's not just the roles that have the paywall, even clothing items are locked behind gold bars. And get this, there's even some emotes that can't be purchased with cash, they require gold bars to unlock. Selling emotes isn't even something that GTA Online stooped that low to try and gouge out players. You can get all the emotes for free in that game, but in Red Dead Online, they're going to cost you heavy cash. We're talking hundreds of dollars for each emote. You'd be literally dropping thousands to unlock them all. GTA Online and Red Dead Online work very similarly. You buy a business, you gather supplies, you wait for it to generate, and then you sell the stock. And during those sale missions, you become a target for everyone in the lobby. The difference is, in GTA Online, you can use private sessions or solo sessions to sell things by yourself and not risk losing your hard-earned money. In Red Dead Online, Rockstar took a different approach and they completely disabled the ability to go into a private or solo session, even though there was code found within the game files that would allow for private sessions. So you're basically forced to sell all of your business stock in populated lobbies where you're at risk of losing everything you've worked for from one griefer. One might even wonder if this was an intentional tactic to drive more microtransaction sales. Today's video is brought to you by So You Want to Be a YouTuber. This is your ultimate strategy guide to branding, building viewership momentum, and monetizing a YouTube channel with as little as 1,000 subscribers. It's beautifully printed in full colour and is now available on Amazon paperback and Kindle. Check out the link in the description or search So You Want to Be a YouTuber on your local Amazon store, and you can even preview it for free. The most considerable update added to Red Dead Online was the Frontier Pursuits DLC, released in September 2019, and that introduced a whole new gameplay experience with the addition of 3 new roles. Although they were somewhat short and quick to complete, these roles were great. However, this update also introduced an abundance of glitches into the game. Animals in Red Dead Online started getting rarer and rarer, almost as if they were going extinct. And for an update that introduced a camp trading business that actually required you to find and hunt animals, this was basically a game-breaking issue. On top of that, camps were completely broken and didn't even spawn half the time, and without your camp, you can't manage your trader business, and when you could get your camp to spawn, there was no animals to run it. The following DLC in December 2019 was the Moonshiners pack, and that exacerbated animal spawns even further. In fact, it was so bad, I'd play Red Dead Online every single day, and I'd sometimes go weeks without seeing a single animal in Red Dead Online. It was literally a graveyard, there was not a single sign of any wildlife. And it wasn't just animals that weren't spawning properly, there wasn't random events spawning, the gang hideouts and other encounters wouldn't spawn in populated lobbies. The Moonshiner DLC was borderline unplayable. It was plagued with some of the worst glitches the game has ever seen. It's honestly astonishing this DLC even passed QA. To mention just a few of these issues, the Moonshine story missions were broken, they wouldn't let you replay them, Moonshine shacks would block you from entering, sometimes all the NPCs inside them would disappear, you couldn't manage the business. Half of the time when you went to start a sale mission, the game would black screen and you'd lose all the moonshine you've spent hours producing. The amount of times I had to contact Rockstar support to refund my moonshine was pretty much comical. And of course, the unstable servers also caused constant disconnections. Even existing content started not to work properly, trader sale missions weren't giving payouts, bounty hunting missions started not giving rewards. And the game was just left in one of the most horrible broken states over Christmas, the whole New Year holiday period, and those issues weren't officially acknowledged by Rockstar until 6 months after the animal spawns were first broken, when they put out a public statement and added that they're working on a fix. This fix didn't actually arrive until March 2020, which improved things slightly, but animals today are still not completely fixed. Now if we compare this response to, say, the cougar duplication glitch or the money or gold bar glitches that have happened in Red Dead Online, those were usually patched within 1 day. If there's any glitch that causes players to make money, it's given the highest priority possible to fix, but anything else, it's just left to rot for months. Red Dead Online is still missing huge chunks of content from the single player, the ability to catch wild horses and either keep them or sell them, legendary animals, legendary fish, the ability to rob stores, the trapper offering unique crafting and clothing, the ability to play activities such as blackjack, dominoes, five-finger fillet. The addition of roles was a welcome change to Red Dead Online, but once you've completed them, there's nothing to do. You can max out a role in just 1 to 2 weeks by playing very casually, and Red Dead Online desperately needs content that has replay value. If you look at the most successful DLCs that made it into GTA Online, the reason they were so successful is because of the replay value. If you look at the Heist DLC, the Casino Heist DLCs, the reason they were so great is because they allowed you to try different approaches each time you played them. It had huge replay value, and Red Dead Online needs that content. Rockstar is probably one of the most secretive gaming companies in the world. They have a very unique way of doing their own community management and marketing, and it can be a source of frustration for many of their fans. I think some acknowledgement of issues in the community could go a long way. When kept in the dark for months and months can kind of have the effect of people wondering if Rockstar even cares. So to wrap things up, I'm not making this video because I hate Red Dead Online. In fact, I actually still play the game almost every single day. I think this game has so much potential. It's literally the most beautifully and detailed world Rockstar has ever created in a video game, and it has so much potential if it's given some more care and attention, and a bit of transparency would also go a long way. If you watched this video to the end, please take a second to leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. I'd love to know how much of this video you guys agree with, or if you have any of your own thoughts or frustrations that you want to add. I should also add that I was inspired to make this after I watched a fantastic video by Dark Space titled The Problem with GTA Online. I'll have that linked in the description if you guys want to watch that next. Thanks for watching guys, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Rockstar Games news and updates, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.